we have these rules that only Indians can understand if they've grown up in India. That's very hard to explain to anyone that's been grown up in the West. We try, but we can't do it. They're the rules of Ucchishtha or Juta, or every Indian region has its own name. In Bengali, we call it Ito. So understanding that you should not contaminate others. There's a reason why Indians never got the plague when the plague wiped out 40% of Europe in the Dark Ages. When were the Dark Ages? From the fall of Rome at 450 to the Renaissance at 1450. That's 1,000 years that they kept dying because they didn't understand hygiene and the pestilence and the Black Plague and the bubonic plague and all.
Much later, till Florence Nightingale came and sort of said,
well, that was much later.
Even then people weren't listening
because they were Europeans. They didn't understand it. And on this side, Japanese encephalitis just wiped out a huge part of East Asia. But here we were in the middle, and one of the ways that we prevented these kind of hygiene issues and the infectious issues is someone would arrive on a ship and we'd say, namaste. We wouldn't say, let me shake your hand. We'd say, namaste. They say, shake my hand, right? The Queen's British say, you're so uncivilized. Why don't you shake my hand? I said, well, actually, because we are civilized, we say namaste. And I wouldn't shake people's hand, and people would get really pissed. And my mother would say, you're a woman. You do not want to be touching foreign, like cooties. And you don't know when people put their fingers. They do all kinds of disgusting things that I've seen. And they'll touch surfaces. And I'm not even a germ freak because I'm a doctor, right? I touch patients. I examine patients who come from all walks of life. But the rules of medicine also tell you to wash your hands, even between surgeries and between, this is one of the reasons why there was such a high killing rate, like mortality and morbidity, sickness in the Western medicine, because they just didn't understand hygiene. They wouldn't change their outer clothes. They wouldn't wash their hands. They wouldn't tie back their hair. They wouldn't clean the operation tools. Shushruta, who's from Ayurveda, way back when, thousands of years ago, he understood these things. He understood the importance of hygiene. And so the rules of Ucchishtha really say around eating, around bathing, around sex, around sleeping. When you sleep, you have more orifices up here than you do down there. Down there, you have 2 or 3, right? If you're a woman. And if you're a human, you have 2 ears, 2 eye openings here, 2 nostrils, and a mouth. So you have a lot of openings. You're on your pillow at night. You don't think any of that stuff comes out of your head onto the pillow, and your hair is like a net for everything you see, outside. So if you wear your hair, even if you wear a braid, or even like now, my hair's wet and it's open. If I am outside and I catch all that stuff and I put it on my pillow is getting dirty, right? So that understanding that you don't share pillows with people, the understanding that you should change your pillowcase. Today, I see people, they don't change their pillowcase. They think it's like a permanent.
On Shlokaji's interview, I heard that, and you were saying change it every single day. I was like, oh, wow.
Right. Yeah. So what does that take? Don't you change your underwear every day?
Yeah, of course.
Then why don't you change your pillowcase every day? Yeah. Right? So if you think about it, people are just not aware. So, so I have an American friend who says, I don't want shoes in the house. It's very important. She's very into yoga and being Indian. And she's a white, New Yorker. She said, I don't want shoes in the house. Great. But I wore my shoes just inside one day, and she got really mad at me. And then I said, so when you bring your dog in, do you take his paws off? Because he's tracked everything from the, everything that's on the sidewalk in the streets into the house. And he just comes right onto the bed. He comes, onto the sofa. And she got very quiet. And I said, it's just awareness. Ucchishtha has a deep sense of awareness. And the people that understood Ucchishtha, Juta, is they were teaching us these indelible rules. I think you've learned them. If you learn them, it's so obvious to you that if you drink out of a glass, right? And you've got water, you drink out of the glass. So you put your mouth to it and you drink. In India, we drink like this from above. But if you drink and you put your mouth to it, when you see someone else grab the glass and just use it without washing
Yeah.
it, how do you feel?
Yeah, you
Kind of
straight away
go,
say, "Nahi, it's juta."
exactly, it's juta.
Exactly.
So the look on your face, like your reaction is the Indian, like ingrained reaction. And this is the whole thing about what to do after you eat. You clean away your own plate. Why should you have someone else do it? This is your juta. Like,
Oh,
why
that's
should
what in our scriptures, that you clean your own plate?
you clean your own plate? You clean your own bathroom. You shower. You wash your clothes in the shower. You shouldn't have someone else washing your underwear. You wear your underwear into the shower. You take it off as you're showering. You know, as you're cleaning yourself, and as the oil is like going away with the water, whatever. And you see people who bathe outside at the pumps or in the
Yeah,
rural
yeah.
areas. They put a gamcha over them, and then from underneath they take off their underclothing, and then they will
Wash it
wash
there
that,
again.
and then they
Mm.
put that out to dry because it's their own thing.